be talking about my second favorite woods folder for bushcrafting, and that is, it may come as a little bit of a surprise, is the Spyderco ParaMilitary 2. Now this one's in full black. As many of you guys know, there you can get a satin blade and a digital camo handle, or the black blade with digital camo, and all the different colorations or all the different things on this. There's also some special editions that come in different steels, but this is just going to be on the regular Spyderco ParaMilitary 2, which doesn't really want to pick up, but it's in CPM S30V, and this is my second favorite bushcraft folder. And the reason why I say it's my second favorite is because the Adamas is my favorite, and for obvious reasons. That knife is very, very strong, or that folder is probably one of the strongest folders you can get out there, or production folders that you can get out there. This one is not quite as tough, mainly in the blade. As you can see, it's very, very thin. Comes to a very, very fine point, which will break off very easy if you try and do any prying with it. But generally, with folders carried as or for bushcrafting, you're not really going to be prying with the folders. You're not really going to be trying to do too much batoning, although that's one of the reasons why I do like this compression lock, is because it is a very strong lock, so you can do some batoning with this knife in the locked position. Same with the Adamas. You can do batoning with that in its locked position. But not trying to talk about the Adamas too much, because it has a review coming too. But for the actual use of a folder being primarily just to do whittling and overall just to try and preserve your main fixed blades or fixed blade, which is the main purpose for a folder in the wilderness, just to try and keep your edges on your fixed blades sharper, longer, by not using them and using this instead. Our folders are also great for small jobs, such as like cutting cordage down to size, and just quick little things that you don't really have to or want to pull your fixed blade out to deal with. So anyways, this thing, because it is very thin, it really is an excellent cutter. It's pretty good for whittling. I mean, it's definitely not a carving knife because of its belly. It isn't very protruding, and you could do some carving with it, but I generally like Scandinavian grinds for carving instead of full flat grounds, just because I find Scandies bite into wood really well, and certainly better than full flat grounds. Not to say a full flat ground is bad, but I just think Scandies are just a little bit better for woodworking. So other than that, it is a really nice knife, especially for everyday carry. I know there's a lot of reviews out there for everyday carry, and I didn't really just want to say what everyone else was saying in the everyday carry kind of thing. We already know this thing's really good for everyday carry, but I wanted to test it for the woods to see actually how it would hold up. And like I said, as long as you're not being abusive to it and you're trying to pry and try and purposely break the tip or something, as long as you use this as a woods folder is meant to be used, I don't think you'll have a problem with this knife. Other than that, the CPM S30V, as we basically all know, is outstanding. The edge retention's just fine on it. Lockup's just fine. Like I said, with this compression lock, Spyderco says this is one of their strongest locks they've ever made, or that they make right now. And I've definitely seen, and there are videos out there on YouTube of people batoning this knife in the locked position, and it holds up just fine. But definitely not recommended, just because, like I said, this thing is thin. So there still is a chance of breaking it. But if you have to, you can with this and have a higher odds of not breaking the knife or the lock. Anyways, guys, just kind of my review on the Spyderco ParaMilitary 2 for bushcrafting. Like I said, it's a very important thing to state. It is for bushcrafting. If you're considering getting folders for bushcrafting, I would probably recommend the Adamas over this, But if you can't find the Adamas, or you can't afford the Adamas, because the Adamas is around $170, whereas this is around $130. If you can't afford that one, but you still want a really nice folding knife for bushcrafting, just to keep an edge on your fixed blades longer, or whatever you want it for, I would definitely recommend this knife or the Adamas. But if you can't afford the Adamas, I'd recommend the Adamas, just because it's a little bit tougher, it's thicker, and has a more reinforced tip. But anyways, guys, I'm out.